Hello students, suppose you have three inclined planes. All of them have the same mass and for the sake of this experiment, a very low friction. And there are three objects. The block, which is basically this yellow object on the screen. The disc, which is like a purple circular disc. And a hoop, which is in green in this picture. Can you tell me which one will hit the ground first? Now it's quite surprising when we discuss this in our Physics Olympiad program at Cheenta. Many of the students said that all of them will hit the ground together. So at the same time they will hit the ground. Remember, all of them have the same mass. So it's not about the mass, it's about something else. One student said maybe the sphere will hit the ground first. So these were the guesses, and it's quite surprising how the world sort of teases us with these experiments, and the reality can be quite different from our intuition. So let's start. Let's hit this play button and see what actually happens. I have slowed down the simulation speed. In this video, we will be learning about this simulated experiments in physics. We are using a software called Algodoo. It's freely available. You can download it. We use it all the time in our physics programs along with physical experiments. Experimental physics is a cornerstone of all the physics that we learn. Let's start this and let's see what happens. So I have slowed down the simulation and you can see that these are rolling and we already see the winner. Aha! The block hits the ground first. Now you might think that there is a size difference, but there is not. Actually, all of them, for example, the block is exactly 2 units from the inclines plane, the point of contact. So it's 1 unit above it. Similarly, the radius of the circular disc is also 1 and the hoop is also same. So their sizes are same, their masses are same, and the friction, everything is same. Turns out that the block will reach the ground first and then the sphere and then the hoop. The real question is, why does it happen? But we will discuss it in a later video. But first, let us see a very analytical way to see which one is hitting the ground first. So if you right click on it, you will see that there is a plot option, and the x-axis of this plot is time. So we want to see what happens over time, and the y-axis is the speed. So if I click on speed, instead of speed, I will use position y. Position y means how high is it above the above the ground. So that would give me the exact height of the ball after, or the block in this case, after a certain period of time. So let's click on play one more time and you will see what's happening. The block, the yellow block is proceeding. The height is reducing, and that's expected. The height is reducing and it sort of hits the ground, and there is a little bump you can see here as well, and it keeps on moving. So we want to know when it hits the ground, and it's happening at 1.28 seconds. That's 0.4346, position y. Now I would ask you to actually do this in your Algodoo, in your system, and kind of show me what are the other two cases. So when does the sphere or the disc hit the ground, and when does the hoop hits the ground? So there are two questions really. What is happening here? Why is the block reaching the ground first? And second question is, how can we measure it using this type of a simulated environment? A lot of experiments in the age of AI are done in simulated environments. It's a great idea to learn how to use them even in a very school level setup. Okay, so let's see what exactly is, how we can actually create this simulated experiment. Remember that that's the first goal of this particular video. The why question will be answered in the next video. But first, how do you even make a particular picture like this? That requires a little bit of skill. So what I will do is I'll create a new scene like with the default, and then I'll start by using this box tool. So it's kind of like this. So I'll probably make it 2 meter long and maybe 0.3 meter wide. And then I'll use the rotation tool to rotate this by, okay, maybe rotate this by 30 degrees. And we have it. So I'll just move this here. Oh, before I do all of this, I'll turn on the grid, because that will give me sort of a way to see where I'm putting stuff. So here we go. Okay, now just to make sure we understand what's going on, if I click on the play button, gravity will kick in and this box will fall. So I'll click on the play button and you see the box falls. So I don't want to do that. So what I'll do is I will put a little pin here. This is called the fixate or pin button. So I'll click on that. I will click on the plank and now it's pinned. So it will not fall under gravity. So I will click on play and see nothing happens. The cloud is moving, by the way, but the plank does not fall. Alright. Now I also want to change the friction and the restitution, all other things. So I will click on this, double right click on this or double click on this. I'll click on the material. I'll change the mass to 1 just to make sure everything is standard. And I'll change the friction to, let's say, 0.1. I told you it's very low friction. And I'll change the restitution to 0. You can Google what is restitution and understand why I'm doing this. So that's it. I have completed the inclined plane part. So what I can do is actually I can right click on it and clone it. And I can clone it one more time. So I have 3 of these objects. Now I want to make the box, the disc and the hoop. So how do I do it? Well, I'll use the grid for that. So I'll use the box tool one more time. I'll create the grid. So it's 0.5 times 0.5. That's fine. I can use the standard all the way. So I will rotate this so that it sort of sits on the incline. So I'll rotate it by 30 degrees. I know that I rotated the incline by 30 degrees. So it will work exactly in the desired manner. And I will sort of move it here. Okay, now if I double click on it and if I change the material, I can again make the mass 1 and I can make the friction 0.1 just to make sure everything is standardized and restitution to 0. That's it. My block making is done. Now I will do the disc in the exact same way. So I will make the disc like this. Notice that the disc has, so I use the ball tool or the circle tool, and notice that the disc has one of these lines as radius. So it's exactly the same as the box. I'll move it here. I'll put it on the incline again. And I can use the arrow tools in my keyboard to make this entire thing a little bit more refined. And that's it. I have put the disc on the incline. Now finally, I want to make the same thing with the hoop. So I will create the hoop. I'll create a circle and I'll use the eraser tool. Now for the eraser tool, it's pretty large already, 0.4. You can make it however large you want. So maybe I can make it 0.4. I'll keep it at 0.4 actually, the brush size. I'll put it at the center, the eraser tool. I'll click once, I'll click twice, and it's done. The hoop is ready. I'll put the hoop here. Awesome. Now finally I will change the material and I will make it 1. The mass has to be the same. Make the friction 0.1 and restitution as 0. So, and the same thing should be done with this disc. So I'll do that. And now your picture is ready. Okay, I'll just have to move this hoop a little bit. The picture is almost ready. And your experiment is also absolutely ready. Hit the play button and start measuring. Of course, using the plot tool, you can see when the ball or the box or the hoop hits the ground. You can measure 3 of them, put it in the comment section. I think this is a great experiment to do at home. And then in the next video, we will discuss what is the physics behind it. Why is it so that the box is hitting the ground first? Thank you for watching this video. I hope you continue to do great physics, great mathematics, great computer science. Check the link in the description for more courses and other resources. Take care. Bye.